Hello and welcome to Just Below Average Track Guides, where I take a full-on belly flop into my massive pool of accumulated knowledge from performing at what I think is the sweetest of sim racing sweet spots. Mediocrity is so close you could lick it. Anything lower than this, you might want to give up. Anything better, you're a bit of a try-hard and everybody hates you. This is where it's at. Today, we're at Zandvoort, home of two-time and reigning F1 world champion Max Verstappen. Anyway, as always, we will be running a base iRacing setup, no trickery whatsoever. Temperature is about 70 degrees ambient, air temperature that is. I will let you watch a full lap without my waffling, and then we'll come and break it down in a little bit more detail.
About 5 laps of fuel left.
Okay, so we are just finishing the previous lap, and obviously the approach to the start-finish line is as crucial here as anywhere else. So, good fast exit on the final bend. Scrub as little speed off as possible. Keep to the left, and you're now on the start-finish straight. And the lap starts. I think we've just gone over it. Anyway, it's just started. What you are looking for is a very clear braking point right there. So you've got the Tarzan sign on your left. You've got the white and red line across the track. You want to be obviously right over on the left-hand side if you can. A very quick word of caution, there is a bump right in this braking zone, so trial and error obviously to try and avoid that. But generally speaking, this is where you want to be. Going into what will be a tight second gear, late apex turn with a deadly curb on the inside. So let's run this through. So down to second. That is closer to that curb than I actually would recommend getting. This curb, this whole lap actually is a tale of what to do with the curbs on most of the bends. This one, catch it like this, and best case scenario, you lose a little bit of momentum. Worst case scenario, it hops the car off to the left-hand side of the track, and it's game over. As you can see, I literally grazed it, and it turned out to give me pretty much the perfect exit, because that is about as much curb as you want on the outside as well. So that you get, I'm already up onto third gear, 145 kilometers an hour, already back on the power, but that was as literally millimetrically close as you want to get to that inside curb on turn one. So out of here, keep accelerating, keep over to the left, sweep it round on this curb, then you're going back down to third for a right-hander, and here, let's just run it through, give this curb plenty of respect and space too. Similar to turn one, touch that, lose momentum, or off the other side of the track to the scene of an accident. Let it run through there, clip the curb on the outside, don't obsess with getting back over to the right as you approach this next turn, the left-hander into this bank curving. It's very easy to get snap oversteer on the way out of here, so obviously be as progressive as you can and avoid that at all costs. So let's just see how we did. So as you'll see, that's as close as I got to that curb. Again, you don't need to be really big balls on those curves. Just leave them alone. And a very late apex. You can see I'm maybe two and a half cars lengths away from the end of that curb before I apex the bend, and then I'm already sort of feeding the power back on. Could have run a little bit wider onto the curb on the right hand side, but had lovely drive. So now this is about, I mean, this is just beautiful, this section. Keep it flat, keep it pinned, up through the gears, smooth it out, straighten it out, and then look out for this service road. Now you'll notice that is not ideal. But again, it's one of those I got away with. About there on track would be better than where I ended up, which was there. But very, very much got away with that. But basically, you're looking for this service road on the left. You'll be in 6th gear. By the time, as soon as you hit that, drop it down to 5th, back off, and try and get the nose turned in nice and early if you can. Because as soon as, I haven't really, I didn't really get to the apex again, and there's definitely there's a couple of tenths to be had there without a doubt. But I like to get in, it might be wrong, but I like to get in nice and early. So you can see I'm about as close to the edge there as I get. And suddenly you just feel it grip up, and you'll see I start getting back on the power really early. So keep it to the left. And this is another key curb, but for different reasons. You want to cut this one, you want to be aggressive. Drop it down to 4th. Is there a mark? Let's say, we're talking, as soon as this advertising barrier on the side gets out of view, you want to start swinging this over. Drop down to 4th, swing it over to the right. Plenty of curb, could even have taken more than that. That's pretty good. Plenty of curb, let it run out. You're already back on the power now because you'll have felt the grip. If you've got that jumping of that curb right, you'll feel the car's gripped up. You can already get back on the power. Trust the downforce. Let it work its way out to the left-hand side. And then, actually, I've missed a key point here. So, you've got all the grip in the world. This is a lovely wide section of track. So anyway, you're looking for that sign on the right-hand side. Go beyond that. So I'm now, that's literally just gone out of my view. And I've started decelerating. I'm in 4th gear still, down to 3rd, down to 2nd. Nice tight apex here. And then you've got all this width, so you can start applying the power gently, but quite early. You're back on the power, let it sweep over to the right, and then again, another service road. I tended to have a little lift just before I got to this service road. The service road is your braking and turning point, really, but I was, just to settle the car, I was just backing off the power very slightly, just beforehand. Down to 2nd, another very late apex. Avoid the curb again. It's not as severe as the others, but there's very little to be gained from touching it other than unsettling things. And then, similar with the banked curve from a few corners back, snap oversteer is a very real possibility here. So really gently squeeze back on the power, let it drift out to the right. And then you flat, 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 let it slide over to the left, and then you're going to see this curb, that curbing there, the red and white, that literally is the most perfect braking marker. Second, your front wheels are in line with that. Hard on the brakes, already start diagonaling the car across the track towards the apex of the chicane, which is probably the most technical, tricky part of the whole circuit. And then you want to get a nice load of curb there. So you're down to 2nd gear, cut the curb there, not so much this one, and you almost want to focus on the second part. It's almost a double apex, so let it run out from the first part and then come back in tight for the second part, straighten things up, power down, and away we go. Then we're coming up to the final turn where you have a very handy big Ban Vegan in Bewegen sign on your left-hand side. That is basically your braking and turning point. I've seen others drop down to 3rd gear here. I assume that's based on just how well you've approached it. But for this particular lap, it felt perfectly comfortable. Just gentle on the brakes. Keep it in 4th. Took a fair bit of curb there, actually. Didn't do much to unsettle the car, but it's more crucial that you don't take too much curb on the outside. So again, give this a bit of respect if need be. You do not want to be skipping off to the left, because it's much more important that when you get here, you are not too far over that curb where you can easily bottom out and then either, again, crash or lose all the momentum that you're going to need coming up onto this straight. And now it's just pin it to the floor, smooth it out, scrub as little as you possibly can, let the car drift out to the left-hand side, and you're about to hit the line to complete a lap of Zandvoort. There we go. So that was a 1:30.593. I think my optimal was something like a 1:30.2, so it was clear where the errors were in that lap. But like I say, I think that's the sweet spot for just below average. 1:30.2 is probably too close to average for my liking, so I'm definitely going to leave it there. So that's it. That is a just below average lap of Zandvoort. I hope you enjoyed that. Please, if you're interested in watching any of the live races that we do as a group or me individually, check out the Lightning Magoo channel on Twitch. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, give suggestions of what I can do better, what you'd like to see, any tracks, car combinations you're interested in. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.